Let's talk about how to become a delivery driver for FedEx this year. And FedEx is one of the biggies when it comes to transportation overall. And so, along with the UPS, FedEx is a great player to actually count on. So, here's the overview I want you to pay attention to. So, when you think about FedEx, if you are thinking about being a delivery driver, you have to have a clear idea about what kind of driver you want to become, right? Because FedEx has a lot of possibilities for drivers. It's one of those things where you have to be really clear in terms of geography, in terms of the timing. And FedEx is a really fast paced environment. So the question is, are you willing to work in a fast paced environment? Do you want to be a truck driver? Do you want to be a van driver? Do you want to be a box truck driver? What kind of driver do you want to have? Do you currently have a CDL? I mean, do you want to do LTL? Do you want to do OTR? So you got to have a clear idea of the type of driving you want to do with FedEx. In some cases, you might have to do a hazmat. In some specific cases, it's one of those things where you have to again. I want to make sure that you have a clear idea what you want to. Now, the thing is that FedEx is really good in terms of pay also, but they're not as good as UPS. You've heard lately that UPS drivers can earn up to $170,000 a year. FedEx drivers are not earning as much. I mean, of course, that $170,000 includes all kinds of benefits and not only monetary but also non-monetary. And the thing is that UPS seems to be more unionized than FedEx is. I mean, FedEx is also unionized, but not as much. Okay, so there are a boatload of courier companies to work to actually work for and to choose from. But FedEx is one of the best right now in the industry in terms of job stability. I mean, of course, you will make pretty good money. I mean, we're talking here about $45 an hour and upwards of 100. You can make six digits in certain categories, especially if you are a truck driver. But the most important thing is that you have job stability. You have a bigger player in the transportation industry, and FedEx routes are actually this company routes more than 600,000 packages in a day at its ground network, and 65% of this is done through their FedEx ground hubs, where a shortage of couriers causes the cancellation of 25% of customer packages. So think about it. So you have opportunities galore when it comes to driving for FedEx. By the way, boss, welcome back to the show. It's really a pleasure to have you here. Make yourself comfortable. You are going to enjoy today's conversation. Yeah, so when we talk about how to become a delivery driver for FedEx, first of all, you got to ask yourself, are you going with FedEx Express Saver or FedEx Ground? Let's ask the question first, because as a delivery driver for FedEx, you firstly need to know what the different services are and the benefits of each, so you can make an informed decision, not only in terms of short term, but also the long run, okay? So the two most common types of routes when it comes to FedEx are Saver and the Ground. So FedEx Express Saver and FedEx Ground. I want to really dig a little deeper here. So when we talk about FedEx Express, this service offers a time definite delivery to more than 220 countries within 24 to 48 hours, with shipments by air, land, and sea. If customers need something shipped within 2 days, no matter where it is in the world, this is the FedEx service they use. If you actually bring it back to the United States, FedEx Express is great in terms of offering our customers 24 hour delivery for most of continental USA. So we are excluding here Alaska and Hawaii, right? So you will earn more if you are a FedEx Express driver. So we're talking about salary per hour, of course, 13 all the way to 31, and in most cases, $45 per hour. So being a delivery driver for FedEx Express is also a pretty good experience that comes with many benefits. You may enjoy discounts on air travel, insurance, and vacation. So that's just really fantastic. You also have FedEx Ground. So unlike FedEx Express, FedEx Ground drivers only use trucks to transport goods. I mean trucks and vans. So entry is not as easy to start with. FedEx Ground offers a cheap delivery in 1 to 5 days within the United States and 3 to 7 days to Alaska, Hawaii, Canada, and Puerto Rico. So while FedEx Ground is cheap, customers cannot choose the time of their delivery, and it will not arrive as quickly as it will with FedEx Express. So what happens here is that as a ground driver, you need to know that a customer cannot choose the delivery time. You are the one to make the decision. So you have control over here. You have a flexibility also. And so as a ground delivery driver for FedEx, you will deliver lightweight and less time-sensitive items to individual homes and pick up points during the day. So this is really what the difference really is. Boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We are having a conversation about how to become a delivery driver for FedEx this year. So let me give you the steps you need to really have here when it comes to becoming a delivery driver for FedEx. First of all, you need to search the FedEx career portal on the FedEx website. So everything starts with the FedEx.com website, okay? On the site, click on careers, the careers tab at the bottom under our company, and then create an account. So basically go to the portal, click on join now under the driver section. You got to create an account for you to track whatever possible jobs you apply at FedEx, okay? Go to the talent community platform. You'll have to fill the talent community sign up form. So becoming the delivery driver or any position in the company is about joining a talented team. So this is important. And so the thing is that make sure that you put as much relevant information as possible, because all the recruiters within the firm are going to actually log into that platform to see what's available in terms of talent. So this is really important. This is actually your first entry point into FedEx. So number two, you want to fill in the talent community sign up form. Now this is important. Write your contact information, such as first name, last name, email address, your residential address. Also, you need to include your location and phone number, including the phone type. So if you have a smartphone or whatever, so you have to be really as precise as possible, because that's going to help you actually land maybe your next interview. So you need to actually fill in your latest job details and educational background. So how do you have let's say a high school diploma? Do you have a bachelor's degree, a college degree, or whatever? I mean, you don't need to have a college degree to drive for FedEx, but they just want to know what kind of possibilities are there in terms of your talent. Your experience and education are essential in dealing with clients. By asking those questions, FedEx will determine whether you are a beginner or an experienced driver, and so they will know how to dispatch you or what kind of routes they have to dispatch you on. And one thing I want to say also is that when it comes to experience, it's all about customer service. And FedEx actually prides itself on its customer service. This is an important element for the company, and they make sure that their drivers are paying attention to their customer service too. It's all about the customer experience. And I mean, driving for FedEx, it's one part of the job, okay? How you treat customers is the other part of the job. The next thing you want to do here is to enter additional information. So on the talent community sign up form, you have all kinds of information. The pieces there are asked of you, and you got to be as transparent and truthful as possible. So here you want to supply your career experience in a resume. At this point, a resume is the only document you need to upload. No need to upload your CDL. No need to upload any kind of background information, whatever. No, of course they will ask you for your social. That's for sure. But you just need to upload your resume. And make sure you have a standard. I mean, if you have questions about the standard resume for FedEx, let us know. We'll let you know. I mean, try to be as concise and detailed as possible, okay? And customer service and time efficiency are essential skills that you should not forget to mention. This is really important. Going back to what I said to you a little earlier, that it's all about the customers, right? FedEx wants to make sure that you really care about their customers, and this is really important. So you want to remember to include all your skills, whether related to the delivery job or not. The next thing you want to do here is to proofread and submit your application. So you got to proofread your application to make sure you enter the correct information. Going back to what I said, it's all about transparency. You got to be as truthful as possible. Remember to submit true and accurate information and try to condense everything into one page for easy viewing. Because the thing is that those recruiters, they're really busy. They have tons of applications to actually review, and the last thing you want is to actually discourage them from reviewing your entire application. So once you have verified that all the information is correct, you can click on the submit button, And once you have done so, the next step is to wait for the approval of the application. It takes about 2 to 3 weeks. In some cases, depending on the location, they might actually get back to you within 2 to 3 days. But usually, depending on the backlog that they have, they might take 2 to 3 weeks to actually answer you. Because the thing is, they are very thorough in terms of all the applications that review. They don't do things like piecemeal with FedEx. They really they go in detail to make sure they're giving you as much feedback as possible. So if they retain you, they want to make sure that this is for the best. Also, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We are having a conversation about how to become a delivery driver for FedEx. Now let's talk about the FedEx Delivery Driver requirements. So, if you want to become a competent FedEx Delivery Driver, you got to make sure that you can handle packages efficiently, right? You'll always be carrying packages from the store to delivery centers. So if you like enough strength, if you're not really fit, then you'll have a hard time. That's for sure. So aside from your physical capability, you got to really meet the following conditions. So you got to have professional driving experience and a valid license. So you can see here that they're not asking you for a CDL because this is not a trucking position really. And your driving ability plays a crucial role in getting hired as a delivery driver for FedEx. And if you have, let's say, a driving experience of not less than 3 years, you have a higher chance of success. Okay. So what I'm trying to say is that the more years you have under your belt in terms of driving, the better your odds of success. Your driving experience can be in any sector, including Uber or Lyft. That's totally fine. In addition, you can consider signing up for an entry-level driving course to help you get started on the right path. So this is it's all about accumulating as much experience as possible. So besides driving experience, you gotta meet the age requirements. So we're speaking here about 21 years. So that's the minimum. You gotta be 21 years or older. You gotta pass the FedEx drug test. They are very, very thorough when it comes to their drug test. And so for any recruit, FedEx conducts a drug test to make sure you do not drive under the influence of drugs. So you better have a clean drug history before even applying. And you also have to have a completely clean background check, because they will actually subject you to a background check. So potential delivery drivers for FedEx must not have any criminal records. If you have a criminal record, you will be eliminated. So the thing is that, as I said a little earlier, your whole application may take 7 to 21 days before you get feedback. And for the FedEx ground delivery drivers, you must also be familiar with the routes to start quickly. So it's one of those things. And this is, again, I'm talking here about just the theoretical aspect of things, because there is a practical aspect of things where they will put you on a lane and see how you actually how you drive on a lane, or how you actually manage your route. So that's really important also to keep in mind. Let me give you a bonus here. So what's actually the salary of a FedEx truck driver? So we have truck drivers, we have delivery drivers, so you have all kinds of possibilities. As I said a little earlier, salary actually depends on two things, right? Experience level and also the location of the job. So if you are driving in LA versus in Dover, Delaware, of course you see a delta in terms of the salary there. And so we are looking at somewhere from $15 all the way to $55 and $60 per hour in some cases, and depending on the type of job that you have, whether you're doing, if you are a truck driver, you earn more. And there are folks who make 6 digits, of course, at FedEx, depending on seniority. Also, this is an important element. And one thing I want to say here is that your actual earnings will depend on your state, the amount of time you take delivering the package, and the division you work for, among others. And also, your average pay varies significantly by as much as $3.61 per hour. This suggests you have an opportunity to maximize your pay based on your skills, years of experience, and location. So this is an important element to think about. And so if you were to compare your your FedEx pay with your average pay when it comes to transportation, FedEx is right below UPS. That's for sure. That I think I've already established. I've already established that. But the most important element is that you have to really have a clean driving record. The cleaner your driving record, the more pay you can earn. And also, one thing I want to say also is that if you actually were referred by another FedEx driver, that could really help you also, because it's important to really understand that FedEx actually plays an emphasis on referral, because they want to make sure that they get the best drivers ever. So if you are referred by a current FedEx drivers, you are going to make a lot of cash. That's really important. Now, the bottom line here is that once you get hired in FedEx, your ability to exceed customer expectations all the time is going to drive your salaries up. It's going to drive your performance evaluation up, and at some point, your salary will go up as well. Let me enter this conversation by giving you a review. So when we talk about being a FedEx delivery driver, we're talking about a fast-paced environment, okay? Very fast-paced environment, and it's one of those things where you might have to work on weekends, you might have to work you might have to work late nights, you might have to work on holidays. It really depends upon the location and the hecticness, if you will, the busyness, if you will, of the specific location where you are at. And it's important to understand that FedEx is the only delivery company in the United States that still regards drivers as independent contractors. In most cases, you will be seen as an independent contractor. This means what? It means that you will not be entitled to overtime pay in some cases. Also, you will not get expected typical employment benefits such as health care coverage in some cases, okay? And it's one of those things where you have to see whether you are whether you are hired as an in-house driver, or whether you are still treated as an independent contractor. As I said a little earlier when I started the conversation, I said that FedEx as a company is less unionized than UPS, so that means that your average pay will be less than what the drivers are earning at UPS. Okay, so basically, when we talk about FedEx, you also have to pay attention to a very important concept, which is a shuttle driver. So what really comes to mind when you hear shuttle drivers? Well, you may be thinking about a driver who picks up and drops off people. At FedEx, shuttle drivers are those who are responsible for the packages. So FedEx shuttle drivers load and unload freight, as well as scan and sort the freight within the facility. And FedEx delivery drivers perform shuttle functions, including, they do so using non-articulated vehicles. So they can load aircrafts, deliver vehicles, and sort the packages according to customer requirements. So this is really good in terms of flexibility. And so if you want to work for FedEx, just make sure that you stay away from drugs. So illegal drug usage will actually keep you away from driving for FedEx. You will likely be declined for a job at FedEx if you have a history of using any illicit drug. And FedEx always performs a drug test during recruitment, and you will be automatically disqualified if you test positive. That's for sure. Secondly, criminal records might disqualify you from driving for FedEx. If your driving license has been suspended for moving violations, you will not be employed. Also, your application will be disqualified if you have criminal records for reckless driving and a lack of concern for road safety measures. And FedEx takes very, 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 very seriously any instance where you exceeded the speed limit by 15 miles per hour. So this is one of those things where, yeah, just keep in mind, if your dream one day is to apply at FedEx, you got to be really, really clean, okay? So that's really important. But overall, FedEx delivery drivers earn less than UPS union drivers, that's for sure. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. In today's conversation, I spoke to you about how to become a delivery driver for FedEx. So I give you the overview, the approach, the steps, the bonus, and now the review. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.